kind of what's going on with the Democratic Party today, though, right?
With what? Great pivot.
Right? That's what's going on with the Democratic Party today.
I think what you're talking about, like their lack of ability to kind of understand where kind of mainstream America's sentiments are.
The only guy that's saying we screwed up with transgender is Newsom. The only guy that's
he wants to be president.
He wants to be. He realizes he's got to get to the center, but everybody else like no, trans this, and we still believe in this, and we that is not fair, and that you better call him. A woman because she is a woman. No, he's a man. No, and there's the ruckus on what was it, House, Congress, Rob, the one.
Okay, they always take a minute to get to the point. They're gonna show you, that there was like a ruckus. Actually, I'll skip to the bit of the ruckus, but this definitely is Patrick Bet-David calling out Andrew Schulz. Andrew Schulz is just as woke as he was when before. It's not even about being woke. Forget it. Like, I'm sorry that I even use that term, but Andrew Schulz is running around here acting like like, oh yeah, the left is crazy, but yeah, no, let's his answer to what you're about to see here, I was like, I wasn't shocked, but I was like, yeah, like, everything is just meshed all into one at this point. So this is PBD and Andrew Schulz. Patrick Bet-David destroys Andrew Schulz for a woke take. Patrick Bet-David destroys and annihilates, obliterates Andrew Schulz for his woke take. Let's just go ahead and get into it.
What you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America. Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Boom. Mr. Chairman, you are out of order.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, have you no decency?
Okay.
I mean,
which one is Mr. McBride?
All the way on the right.
Right here.
Can you pull up the picture on the screen?
At least it looks like.
So she's a trans woman, right?
Trans woman.
So like, this is the thing that actually I think is where everybody loses. If she wants to identify as like a woman, and you want to call her, and that's what she wants you to call her, just fucking call her a woman. It's not
going to happen.
Okay. Let me make the whole argument.
Please make the argument.
Okay.
I'm so curious what this.
Yeah, please make the argument, because I'm curious too. Why it's always like, well, just give them what they want. Like what? Let's go ahead.
Let me make the whole argument.
Give it to us.
I don't think the average person thinks that much about trans, especially the average conservative person. What I think the frustration was, and now they shouldn't have that frustration because now they're in power, but I think the frustration was, for years, they felt like there was a lot of, there was a lack of, I think, common sense is the rhetoric that you're seeing now from the right, that there was a lack of common sense with like Democrat ideology and the things they were pushing through. And trans is just the highest rung of the ladder. So it would start at something like this, and this is what a lot of my friends were hearing. It's like, we don't call people Latinos or Latinas. We call them Latinx. And then you would go to your friends and you'd be like, what do you, like, do y'all want to be called Latinx? And they'd be like, I don't even know what the fuck that is, right? And then you'd go back to your work and be like, yeah, I spoke to some of my Spanish friends that they don't even know what Latinx is. And then the reaction is, how dare you? What are you, some bigot? That's racist. Stop being so insensitive. So immediately you get taken back. You go, okay, wow. I was just asking questions. I spoke to my Spanish friends. They said that they don't even want to be called that. But all right, this kind of feels weird, but I'm not going to push back. Then you find out that like a drag queen is teaching English at your school or something like that, which I know is blown out of proportion. But still, you hear a story about it and you're like, you just go into the school. You're like, hey, just out of curiosity, why is there like a drag queen like teaching the kindergartners how to read? What is that about? How dare you? What are you, some bigot? But they're a performer. We have performers come in here all the time. Be like, okay, I'm just asking a question. You keep calling me a bigot. And the emotional feeling for like the parent or the person in that situation is, hey, this doesn't really make sense. And everybody's kind of pretending. And then the final rung of that ladder is trans women competing in women's sports, right? And I think that not that many people are actually really caring about trans people or thinking about them every single day, but it's like, it's the argument that is infallible. You present it to your friend that is like, staunchly Democratic, you present it to your congressman, you're like, hey, do you think this is unfair? You made me feel like a bigot with the Latinx thing, you made me feel weird about the drag queen thing, but this is 1 + 1 = 2. And if you refute that, it's actually very comforting for the conservative because you go, oh, this whole time I was being gaslit into thinking I was the crazy person, when in reality, you're not operating on like an honest playing field.
If you guys like videos like this, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and a notification bell. Now, I'm going to reserve my thoughts because I want to see, and I'm not going to cover the 33 minutes, but I want to see if in the first 2 minutes, in the next 30 seconds, because there's a way to respond to this that shuts down all of this, right? And I can think of at least 2 people on that panel who should respond to it the way that it should be responded to. But let's see. Okay, let me just stop and see.
You're caught up in the ideology. So I think that's really what it is. So I don't care if some trans person wants me to call them a woman. Like, I'm going to call you a woman. I'm not going to like put my fucking foot down about it.
Andrew, if I told you right now, call me daddy, would you call me daddy?
No.
Why not?
Well, because
Call
you're
me
not my
daddy,
dad.
Andrew.
But you're not my dad.
But I want you to call me daddy. I view myself as your daddy.
Well, but you're not my dad.
But you're right. She's not a man.
But if you want
she's
me,
not a woman.
But if
she's
you
a
wanted
man.
me to call you son, I would call you son.
Yeah, I get what you're doing here. You're having fun with it, right?
No, I'm not. It doesn't affect me at all. Calling me daddy insults my dad.
Yeah, but calling you ma'am insults my intelligence. Insults science. It insults facts. It insults, an actual, you were born a man. You want me to call you a woman because it hurts your feelings?
So this is where I think about, like, and obviously I don't think there's ever going to be like a version of us like getting some understanding of this, but like, I think the greater concern is this becoming a social trend and there being like young influential kids that start making decisions about their body that are irreversible. And
Before we get to the irreversible decisions about their body that people don't understand, and everybody thinks that this is just all it comes down to. Now, so on this channel, I make no bones about it. Y'all already know I'm Christian, right? And I don't like to have to keep saying that because it looks like I'm boasting about it. I don't want to boast about it, but it is me. Like that's the practice of life. Okay, so there you go. Which is the answer to everything. God is the answer to everything to me. Yeah. Now watch. It's not even to me. This is the Creator. The Creator created man and women. And this was like somebody will say, "Oh, you're just saying that because you're on your show." No, I've had to deal with these people. I've had to work with them and worked with them in a very had a very valuable relationship as far as being the nurse to the patient kind of thing. Understood, talked to them and everything. Right? Definitely wasn't disrespectful, but I did not call them women. I didn't. I didn't. I tried really hard not to use pronouns. And even that is a disrespect to my Lord because my life begins and ends with God. It does. I am a sinner. But for me to call you a woman and you're not a woman, it already tells God made a mistake. Oh, I feel like a woman. That's between you and God. I'll be nice. I'll be nice about it, right? Because I want to still represent the Lord in a way where you want to get to know Christ and understand how you got to the point that you are in and how you can make yourself, God can make you better. Christ can make you better. No one is beyond redemption, by the way. That's a fact. But that's the answer that's never said in these situations. This channel is I'm a Christian, right? Inconvenient truth. That's just what it is. Standing with the truth is standing with Christ to me. These people are not, that man is not a woman. So it's not even about, oh, I'm a woman, so it's offensive to me first. I don't really care about that. Something wrong with you, right? So I don't need to get that worked up about that part. But I will not accept that God made a mistake. Yes, we used to have Christians who talked like this. They got called crazy. They got, called all kinds of kooks or whatever. But if we don't start bringing this back to the natural order, the way God wanted it, not like we're going to be perfect, but at least start speaking where we are not here by mistake. So if we don't actually accept that at some point, it's just going to get worse. It is. And to be honest, it has gotten worse because now here we are with the kids making decisions that are irreversible.
As a parent, I obviously have a concern about that, right? Because you start taking these hormones, you start lopping shit off your body, you're not going to get that back. Like, this is like a really dangerous, potentially situation. But if you ask me if there are 8 billion people on the planet, right? 8 billion people on the planet, and I see a person born with a foot coming out of their head on Instagram every other fucking day. Weird shit happens.
Sure.
To me, the weirdest shit, body dysmorphia or whatever it is, or gender dysmorphia. Like, to me, that's not like unbelievable if 8 billion people on the planet got their kids born with fucking cancer. Like there are crazy things that happen in our existence, and that's not even close to one of the
Yeah,
craziest.
but
This is a different story.
this is a different story because this is not something that happens naturally. This is something that happens 5, 10, 15, 20 years into your life where you want to play dress up. How many days a year is Halloween? 1 day a year. But you want to play Halloween and dress up every single day. And you want me to pretend that you're a leprechaun or a ghost or a donkey every single day.
We
of
have
the
a
year.
disagreement, I think, when it comes to like leprechaun or ghost or daddy or any of those things. I think that we're on the same page.
He makes me call him daddy every single day. It's fine. I do it.
I get it.
But go ahead, Andrew. Go
But
ahead.
I get emails from daddy and
I guess what I'm saying is like where this is like a perfect example of like where the conversation gets lost and both sides kind of can't unify. Like another example is even like Doge. Like I don't think that there's any American that
Okay,
is.
so I'm not gonna go into Doge and all that, right? So okay, so there we go. So again, none of them made the point. You know, it's like, oh, just call them that, whatever. Why do I have to, again, sacrifice my way for you? I don't have to do that. I will not accept. And I was waiting. Man, I'm telling you, because they started getting crazy, especially around 2021, where they were coming around with these name tags, and they were like, oh, you can put your pronouns on your name tag. And I was like, as soon as they come to me with that, I'm going to be like, absolutely not. And if you demand me to do it, I will leave this job. Yes, I know somebody's like, damn, you don't do all that. Just put the pronouns in. We will compromise ourselves into a dark place. That's just me. I'm not telling anybody else to be that way. I'm not, right? But look at where we are, man. Kids are making decisions that they've been allowed to anyway. There are mothers. Y'all ever heard of Jeff Younger? Jeff Younger's wife took his kids, his boys, and she is at this moment chemically and physically castrating them boys. Allegedly. I'm just saying that just to, you know what I mean, for the liability purposes, right? And she's protected to do so. She stole his sons from him. They don't want to wear dresses. They told him, they said, Daddy, we don't want to do this. And she was giving him certain teas, and she's a doctor. Dog, this goes too far. You know where it shouldn't have to go there? Somebody will say that I'm browbeaten with Christ. No. Tell people, the Creator created you and loves you. Loves you, flaws and all. And you love God because God loved you first, and you can be better in many ways. I have to be better. We all have something we're working on. You're not horrible. You know, you're confused. You have things going on, but you are worthy and worth it to figure out what's making you feel this way, okay? Because the Creator created you out of love. That's what we should be saying. And nobody ever brings up God in these things anymore. I see you guys at the next one. Bye.